A red light illuminates a hallway, seen from a darkened room on Midsummer's Day. The camera moves towards the segment of the open door and walks through into the dark room beyond the hallway. Glimpses of light become visible beyond. As the camera edges forward, through the blackness, we see through a window, and dawn is breaking. The curtains are opened, and the expanse through the window is clearer and wider. Corners of suburban roofs and foliage from trees and bushes are in silhouette. The sky is pale blue, with smudges of orange on the horizon, and indigo blue clouds brood above. The conversation takes place between Jade Montserrat and Andrew and Caitlin Webb-Ellis over 4 Zoom meetings from their respective homes.
I've just pressed record, I found it.
We walk with the camera into a front garden and down onto a wayward lawn, kempt by a scythe.
It just broke up when you said that.
Just try and close some windows here.
As the camera pans upwards, a double rainbow comes into focus.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I can do that too.
Jade is a brown woman with African heritage hair. Over the course of the meetings, her hair is worn sometimes in an afro and sometimes in plaits.
Sorry,
Andrew is a white man who often wears a chain around his neck and t-shirt. Caitlin is a white woman. She wears tie-dye t-shirts.
Like, glitch out, like, you know how when you're on Zoom, that happens? In dreams now, just in normal conversation. Yeah, it's
extraordinary. Oh my God.
The, like, conditions of this time seep in subconsciously.
There's a bit of frustration and a bit of nervousness, and a bit of like, yeah, when somebody is speaking and you can't get the whole sentence and you're just trying to make it up as well, like trying to figure out what it could be that they're saying. No way! You're having digital dreams.
The camera is recording a walk and looks behind the direction of travel to catch another glimpse of the rainbows. We are walking towards the sunrise on the North Sea's horizon. A fence runs the length of the path on the left-hand side of the frame.
And then when 60,000 people are dead and a disproportionate amount are disabled, elderly, and black and brown people, that's a eugenic project. And so if then people are saying, well, the government's saying it's okay, well, when is it that we claim our own, when is it that we rebel then, or when is it that we say no?
The camera points towards an expanse of sea. In the middle of the frame is a fishing boat. The overall light is pink-tinged. We zoom in on the boat. Seagulls sit on the surface of the water. That's so good.
Yeah.
The camera pans wildly from a small dark wood table with a laptop sat atop, open and facing Jade, showing a tab open with Jade's Gmail. Jade is in the study and is attempting to angle a video camera in her hand to point towards her laptop.
But what would you do if somebody was challenging your role as filmmakers, as artists, and was saying it's non-essential, and then you say, but what about music? And they say, you're not musicians.
I think that, I mean, there's always the argument that artists are making sense of the world, that in a way we're, you know, that when we look back throughout any period in history and prehistory, we look to the art of the time to give us a sense of the human condition. And I just think it's hard because people get so caught on that usefulness, like the kind of functionality of what we do, and it's hard to argue that point.
Yeah, because I thought I'm going to just quickly share my screen again.
Jade shares her screen, and the two layers of images, the screen share and a background, become transparent. The bottom layer shows Caitlin and Andrew filmed in profile.
But yeah, at some point it would be really good to. I got up this from the Harrison collection as well. I'm not sure if I sent it you.
She enlarges this document, and the image of Ange and Kate fades out.
But it's not something looking at Harrison.
Under the centralised title script is a reproduction of an old photograph of Colonel James Harrison. He has a handlebar moustache.
And knowing a little bit around what he's about, I'm not sure it's something I would like to embark on by myself. So I wondered whether you'd consider like us just like reading at intervals, you know, from that.
A photographic slideshow from the Harrison collection plays in the upper right-hand corner. Jade continues to open up small window views of random photographs taken from one of the Harrison collection files. Jade angles the camera in the study, and it shows her face up close behind a screen of garden-cut pink and red roses in a bowl. She places her nose into the roses, sniffs deeply, and rotates the bowl to show the roses to the screen.
Yeah, metal prongs for the metal prongs, really, and it just kind of slides on, well, fits on the bottom, then pushes up kind of thing.
Caitlin and Andrew are teaching Jade how to use a handheld camera over Zoom.
Perfect. Looks right. And then did it just come on?
No, there's another battery here.
I think if you close the screen and then open it again, it should.
There is another. Oh.
Is it? Yeah, there you go. It's on.
Perfect.
And then the record button, I'm sure you can see it. It's like if you put your hand through the record button is where your thumb kind of would be. So it's
just on the side, isn't it?
Just at the back,
At the back, yeah. And then there's a zoom on the top, which is a little slider thing.
Jade records the screen in front of her.
That is so good. Wow, it goes in so close.
She zooms in so close that the picture blurs. Jade points the camera towards the stack of bookshelves containing material from her project Institute in Care.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So seamlessly as well.
The camera shakes downwards and focuses in on the following books. C.L.R. James's The Artist as Revolutionary, Coretta's Unchained Voices, Daniel G. Williams's Black Skin, Blue Books, Hirsch's Family Frames, Tangled Memories. The camera focuses on a border in the garden. It is predominantly compost and specks of charcoal, and some seedlings including poppies and sweet pea. The camera moves up the border, glancing at more seedlings, and stops at a valerian plant growing out at the rocky wall. That's not right, it doesn't go to a valerian. It goes to, as I said, St. John's wort, maybe. St. John's wort. The camera zooms in on parsley quivering in the wind. It zooms out.
The people who are living the tension, the black people who are living their communities, you just see in their eyes they're so tired. It's like they've almost been born tired. And then you'll see like a child that if you watch there's the moment that I burst into tears this morning was in the school, and the camera sort of pans along a line or it's just like looking over a line of kids lining up, and these kids sort of look up to the camera a bit sort of curious and sort of disorientated. But there's one child who I think had a cleft lip, maybe who had a, he's just beaming, and the sunshine and the love and the truth and the trust. Even somebody like looking down on him with a, you know, but he's just, his whole face just is breathtaking, and you think, here he is among his peers. What happens then between this moment in time? And just like nothing will have changed, and he will be an elderly man now. And you just, my heart breaks thinking, I hope nothing has ever wiped that smile.
The camera traces the movement of a person walking along the sandy beach of Scarborough South Bay, looking across towards the old town and Scarborough Castle. It is sunrise on 20th of June. Jade turns the lens towards her and places the camera on a large rock. She is wearing Adidas Parley trainers, grey woolen socks, black leggings with a hole on the right knee, white shorts, and a grey Le Coq Sportif hoodie. Her hoodie is flecked with drizzle. She walks backwards and centres herself in the frame. She starts a series of yoga postures called a sun salutation, but stops and starts again. Having completed a full sun salutation on the beach, she walks towards the camera and turns the viewfinder towards sea and the rising solstice sun.
I can rebuild a nation. I can rebuild a nation. I can rebuild a nation. No